We are introducing a brand new feature here on GB News. It's called the Mark Steyn Show Poem of the Week. And for our first honoree, this is one I mentioned last week, a St. Patrick's Day poem about Ukraine by the eminent rocker and Knight Commander of the Queen's Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, Bono, as read to her fellow members of the US Congress by Speaker of the House and clearly a lover of poetry, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, St. Patrick, he drove out the snakes with his prayers, but that's not all it takes. For the smoke symbolizes an evil that arises and hides in your heart as it breaks. And the evil risen from friends, from the darkness that lives in some men, but in sorrow and fear, that's when saints can appear to drive out those old snakes once again. And they struggle for us to be free from the psycho in this human family. Ireland's sorrow and pain is now the Ukraine, and St. Patrick's name is now Zelensky.
Don't blame Mrs. Pelosi. It rhymes fitfully and scans barely at all. Ann McElhinney, filmmaker and best-selling author, joins us now. Anne, every son of Erin, their heart must be bursting with pride at this all-time greatest Irish poem.
Listen, Mark, you know, we need to encourage more poetry writing, not less. And I know you feel strongly about this. You have your poem of the week. But as my mother would say, and people in Ireland would say, God between us and all harm. You know, Ireland's sorrow and pain is now in Ukraine, and St. Patrick's name is now Zelensky. Do you know, it's not exactly W.B. Yeats now, Mark. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly things fall apart, the centre cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. It's not that, right? But one thing that I think is really interesting to point out, and I saw your video of that, but I would ask your audience, you should check that video out on C-SPAN. They had a slightly different camera angle, and I thought it was very interesting. There were a number of gentlemen that you could see at the front of the frame who never stopped eating. Now, that could easily be, by the way, to honour the famine, and as a kind of an honour to the famine that they never stopped eating. But God between us and all harm now, Mark, that's not poetry.
No, it's not. What I found interesting is that he refers to it. You slightly misquoted it. He said, Ireland's pain is now the Ukraine. You're not meant to say the Ukraine. It's now one of those giveaways that you're some closet Putinist and you're not recognizing the national sovereignty of Ukraine because you're going back to calling them what they used to be called when they were under the Russian jackboot. So you can't ever even get that bit right. And even the terrible rhyme of family with Zelensky isn't quite right. And let me just say the big thing. He's done it in the form of a limerick. I can't think of any poet, whether you're talking about Lord Tennyson or Rupert Brooke, who has ever tried to do a war poem in the form of a limerick, which comes from an Irish town limerick and is regarded entirely as a comical form.
Yes, and then to have this delivered by Nancy Pelosi, who's trying to rearrange, you know, and you can see it on the camera there after she finishes, by the way, and as you probably know, when that tape continues on, she then introduces Riverdance very quickly after mentioning the word Zelensky with a couple of nice Irish dancers come on. But honestly, you know, she does that. First of all, the minute she finishes, she does the rearranging of the teeth thing. And I don't know what is going on with the teeth, but she's doing that whole rearranging of her dentures or whatever. But also, I think we all would have noticed there that it seems like, you know, I suppose it was St. Patrick's Day. And I think maybe she wasn't off the drink for Lent. Do you know that kind of way? Because she certainly sounded, she was challenged, by the way, reading this piece by Bono, who I think what happened here, Mark, I think what happened here was that he was asked to do this maybe, you know, a few months ago. And, you know, and he's a busy fella, him being a rock star and everything, right? Yeah. And then somebody phoned him up at the last minute and said to him, "Oh, God bless us, did you send us the poem at all?" And he went, "Oh, God, I remember the poem." And he wrote it then in that 5 or 6 minutes then, because it has the feel of that now. It has the feel it was a bit of a rush job there. And I found the rhyming couplets were kind of extraordinary. As you say, it was a bunch of limericks stuck together.
Yeah, and that first line, "Oh, St. Patrick," he chased out the O is like a dead giveaway that you're just in the pub making up some sea shanty on the fly, basically. I thought. Anyway, you were right to point out that it was followed by Riverdance, and well, it was followed by Riverdance, and I'm sure we all regret that Nancy Pelosi did not join in the step dancing, because we would all have liked to have seen that. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you very much, Anne. Great to have you join us. If you would like to write a Bono-type limerick on Ukraine, give it a go. You can give me your best, gbviews@gbnews.uk. You can Twitter me, GBNews. Take it in any direction you want, although we do insist you begin like Bono, with a big, bold, declarative O. Oh, there once was a rocker called Bono whose rhymes were a bit off and on-o. And there'll be bonus prizes if you manage to scan as atrociously as Bono and misaccent his subject's name. Oh, a rocker tried rhyming Zelensky. At Davos, I once saw Sean Penn ski. Ah, screw it, I'm Bono. I raised awareness about Omicrono. So who cares if it's deficient in rhyme and scansion and other such flotsam and jet ski?